Your weekend in a nutshell was great.
My weekend was awesome. It was excellent. So thank you so much.
Nice. I hope we are together. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you very clearly. Can you hear me?
Now you're good now. Let me give you this chance.
Kurara FM. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you are sitting down, taking notes, getting ready for your weekly motivation. Thank you so much.
Definitely. It's been a while. But I'm happy with it. Any waste of time. Take it away, sir.
Yes, sir. As we were talking last week, I actually had a very, very interesting week. I think I needed this break.
Yes.
Because the social media was quite hectic. I think I mentioned something about relationships about 2 weeks back.
Yes.
And for the first time I had over 70,000 views in one video.
Wow.
It was very shocking. I didn't realize that people are so interested in relationships and they want to hear batho ba imetse mo dilong tsa marato nna ke itse gore go diragalang.
Yes, sir.
No, but I'm very grateful. So last week before last, we spoke about the growth limiters. We mentioned how your thoughts can become your destiny. And we mentioned that your thoughts they become your words, and your words become your actions, and your actions become your habits, and your habits your character. And then your character obviously is what catapults you and puts you to your destination, which is what we call your destiny. And we said there are certain limiters. We gave about 6 growth limiters to say, be very careful of these limiters because they will limit your ability to actually grow. And we said one of them was social learning, and which goes with a fear of missing out. And then we said fear of being excluded is also very important. We mentioned taking control of your environment by unlearning certain fear and doubt, certain fears and doubts. We also spoke about changing the things that you can change, to say there are things you can't change. So the ones that you can change, put effort in changing those so that you can learn to accept the ones you can't change, because it is what it is. It's not everything in life that we are able to change. And I also mentioned the fact that we need to focus and show interest, because when we focus and show interest, certain things become clearer. They become clearer. And the last one that I touched on was lack of networks, to say we need to develop networks in 3 main categories. In the category of personal growth, category of skills for those who are in business and those who are, in the employment space. If you are employed, develop your skills so that you can increase your value. You can also develop your technical skills by obviously getting people who can mentor you, people who can help you grow, people that can actually make sure that they coach you so that you can grow better. So today I want to talk about something that I believe is very important, and that is, why do we grow? Why do we have to grow? Why can't we just live our lives and just do whatever we want to do? Why do we have to bother? Why must I invest in myself? Why must I work hard in making sure that I grow? And one of the main reasons that we had touched even when we started in the beginning is that growth is necessary because things in our environment change. And when things change and you are not growing, the chances are, as a person, you are going to find it very difficult to navigate your environment and actually survive or come out strong. So what do I mean by things change? You lose people in your life. You gain other people in your life. That transaction of losing and gaining people requires growth. Because if you do not grow, that transaction might break you as a person. Some people, I think once in your life, Loena, as a person, you will realize that there is this one time where maybe you lost a valuable relationship in your life and you fell apart as a person because you felt, I can't lose this relationship, is so important to me. But what we don't realize is we are able to deal with gain or loss of people in our lives based on how well we are actually growing. So growth is important because it allows you to deal with the fact that, in fact, to accept that things will always change. And because things will always change, it means I always have to be above. I always have to make sure that I'm ahead of things changing. For an example, I've always used COVID as an example to say, none of us knew what COVID had in store for us. And when COVID happened, It broke some of us. Some were strong. Some survived and they pulled through. No, some businesses did not even survive, and it had everything to do with a level of growth in your business, a level of growth personally as a person, and a level of growth in terms of skills, because the manner in which we had to do business had to be different. We had to adopt certain skills that are different. We had to start doing things live. We had to start doing things on cyber, have meetings without meeting people, but making calls and all of that. So it changed a lot of how things actually operate. And unless you learned to survive and be flexible enough for you to be able to adopt to that change would have broken you. Which is what I was saying the last time. I said, I used to have a quote when I was a student that says, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not break. and for me, that has worked as a principle in life to say, if I remain flexible as a person, and I believe I've allowed myself the necessary flexibility to say, it does not matter how things change and how things swing. I will always have the flexibility to be able to manage those changes by sitting down and looking at how those changes are affecting me and looking within myself to saying, what is it that is within me that I can use as tools to survive what I'm currently faced with? Yes. But for you to be able to find tools, you need to have developed those tools to start with. And those tools can only be developed by growth. Wow. So now I'm going to touch on a few things and say, why do we grow? We grow to build a value system. We grow to build a value system. There are a lot of people today that are unable to stand firm even in the midst of either peer pressure or whatever type of pressure that you have to, whether it's cultural pressure, whether it's any type of pressure. People are unable to handle that, and you will find that's part of the reason why there's FOMOs, fear of missing out, and all these other things, is because people do not have a strong value system. You need to focus on developing a strong value system as a person. And this is why we need to grow, because when we grow, we develop a value system. And that value system, that's what allows you to be able to say yes and say no to certain things, because you know what your values are and you know what things can fit or not fit into what you call your value system. You are able, some choices are not as confusing. When you don't have a value system, some choices are very difficult to make. They're very difficult to make. It's like, let's give an example. If you say, what type of person do you want to marry? If you don't have a value system, you don't even know where to look. Where are you going to start? Because there's no point of reference. You don't have a value system to say, I operate by these values. I need someone who's going to plug into the values that I have. So your choice becomes difficult. You keep choosing this and choosing that, and this works and this doesn't work. And you see, that's where the challenge comes, because if you are not firm about what your value system is, you are going to find it very difficult to make choices. And those choices can also be choices where career is concerned, where you will have to make certain choices as a person in your career, but you will need a value system to help you make those choices. Sometimes you will find, yes, there is a job that is available, it pays you more money, but it does not align to your value system. Then you will choose to decline it because of your value system. So that choice becomes easy to make because your value system does not allow you to agree to going in that direction, because it does not foster your value system. So value systems are important because they make your life simpler. Your life becomes simpler when you have a value system. Values make you who you are, and they determine what we enjoy. This is what is important. Those values, they determine what we enjoy, and they determine who you are. It's not everything that everyone else is enjoying that you will also enjoy. Why? Because your value system only allows you to enjoy a certain type of things. And you are not tossed and thrown back and forth by the excitement of waves of things that are trending or this, that. You know what your value system is. Even if things trend, if they are not aligned to your value system, they do not move you, they do not shake you. You become a much more stable person. You become much more balanced as a human being because you are not tossed to and fro by every single wave of excitement that passes. And you are able to stand firm because you know who you are. So your values also, they are also the conduit of fulfillment. Your values, for you to be fulfilled in your life, that fulfillment will come through your value system. You are not going to be fulfilled as a person if your value system does not work well for you. Because your value system is like a filter. It allows you to block certain things out and allow some of them through. And you will be fulfilled as a person knowing that there are things you can comfortably say no to and things that you can comfortably say yes to. And this becomes important. Now, also your value system is what you need for your self-worth. Self-worth. So self-worth is important because what it allows you to do is it allows you to be able to determine what is it that works for you. How worthy are you as a person in terms of certain things? And you are unable to allow yourself to be taken for granted or put yourself in situations where you devalue yourself because you understand your self-worth and you know how valuable you are. There are certain things you are able to say no to because you don't want to compromise.
Yes.
And this becomes important because if you know your self-worth through your value system, if you know your self-worth, there are things you will never be able to allow yourself to associate with because you know you are worth more than those things.
Wow.
And this is important because you are able to avoid certain things. You are able to avoid certain environments. You are even able to avoid certain people. To say, I have self-worth. I cannot be seen in spaces like this. I cannot be seen in environments like this. I cannot be seen with people that act this way because I have my self-worth. I know what my value is as a person. Therefore, I am able to make better, more valuable decisions for myself because I know how valuable I am as a person. But it begins with a value system. Now, another thing that I want to touch on is your accomplishment. You will never be able to accomplish certain things in your life if you do not have a value system. Because a value system also guides you. And it puts you in a space where you can avoid certain things from happening because you know where you are going as a person and you know what your goals and aspirations are. You are able to focus on your goals so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. And this becomes important because when you do that, you will be able to avoid wasting time on things that are actually not beneficial for you. You are able to focus yourself such that you are able to avoid things that waste your time. You are able to avoid things that actually do not add any value in your life because you know what you want to accomplish and you can focus on those. You will find that certain things that took you longer to achieve, you can achieve those things quicker when you have a value system because your value system will block certain things out and you are able to make much better decisions for yourself and with much ease because you know where you are going and you understand your value and you understand what is it that you need to do for you to be fulfilled. So the things that you do, that you love, what is also important is that in your value system, make sure that there are things that you do that you love. What I mean by this is that, you know, life doesn't always have to be hard work.
Yes.
And you can work and be excited about doing the work because you are doing something that you love. And I was using an example the last time I said, there are people who are in their careers. And they're in their careers because they just want to make money. It's not because they love what they are doing. Normally when that is the case, your job becomes difficult to do. But when you do something that you love and do something that you enjoy, more than half the time it becomes easier. And this is important because then it puts you in a space where you are able to determine what is it that you want out of life so that you can do the things you love and enjoy the things that you are doing. That is why you'll find that sometimes, there's people that need to motivate people. There's people that need to encourage people simply because those people are doing something that they don't like. And I always use an example and say, if you look at children can enjoy certain activities that they do. They are able to enjoy certain television programs. And they would do them effortlessly. They would do that thing for the whole day without sometimes they will even forget that they have not eaten. And they will come back when they are so extremely hungry because they were doing something they love. They even forget some of the things that they need to do along there. They forget eating. They forget bathing. They forget. Now, as a parent, you will need to come. Now, if that element of a child, some people who are adults can adopt that element to say, if I do what I love, I can enjoy it so much that I don't even see the difficulty that surrounds the thing that I'm doing because I love doing it so much that even when it has challenges, I still enjoy it. So yes, there will be challenges in life. There will be difficulties, but you can still enjoy what you are doing if you do things that you love, because you do those things effortlessly. You do those things without hindrance. You do those things without difficulty. It is important for us to do this so that we can allocate our time to the most important things. You will even find people going as far as saying, maybe you are single, you live alone, and you say, I don't want to cook. I will hire someone to clean my house for me, someone to cook for me, because I spend an hour every day on the pots, an hour that I can use to do something that I love, because I don't love cooking. I would rather have someone else do that for me. So you will find that people are willing to even put money to invest into saving time doing things they don't love, so that they can have more time doing the things that they love. So it's important for us to understand that when you have a value system, you are able to prioritize and you are able to do other things that you love more than things that actually do not add more value. This is why people pay for certain services, to avoid wasting their time doing things that they don't value, and they spend more time doing things that they value. So there are some things that you cannot take. So growth also has that element that has to do with the next level. And this is what is important about growth as well, that there is the next level that is at stake. Yes, as a person, when you grow, a child is born an infant. They become a child, and they become a teenager, a young adult, and they become an adult. So those are all the phases of growth that they go through. Even you as a person, you've got mental phases of growth that you go through, where there are certain things as you grow, you do what we call outgrowing those things. And this is important, because not everything you love today is good for you. But you will never notice that it's not good for you until you grow.
Wow.
You will not notice. You will think, look, it's what it is. I'm enjoying it, until you grow and you realize, how on earth did I waste so much time doing such a foolish thing? Because now you have grown. You are looking at this thing from the eyes of growth, and you are saying, have you ever heard a person say, if I had known what I know now, I would have made money earlier in my years? And you ask yourself a question and say, Hadu, what were you doing when you were young? And they will tell you, 80% of the things that I did when I was young is things I could have lived without. But I did them because of peer pressure. I did them because of FOMO. I did them because of fear of missing out. I did them because of other things. Or, all that was happening in the environment pushed me into a space where I ended up doing what I was doing. But looking at it now on hindsight, I am able to say I could have lived without those things. But I did them because I felt at that time they were useful for me. I felt at that time they were fun. I felt at that time they were actually benefiting me. But they actually didn't, because you could have done without those things. But you didn't realize because you didn't grow. So there are certain things about growth that you cannot go to the next level unless you outgrow or throw away certain things.
Wow.
You won't. There are certain things you will never grow to them until you let go of certain things you are carrying. For an example, if a person has their hands full with plastic bags and all other things, and you want to give them something, you can't give it to them if their hands are full.
True.
They will have to let go of certain things for them to receive what you are trying to give to them. So even with you, when you are stepping into the next level of growth, whether it's next level of growth in your health, it means there are certain things you love enjoying eating that you will need to stop eating. When it's the next level of growth where your mental disposition is concerned, there are certain things that you just can't, certain TV programs that you just can't entertain anymore, certain books that you just can't read anymore, certain people that you can't just spend time with them anymore, because you have grown to a level where you realize, I am not growing here. And for me to go to the next level, I need to let go of this for me to attain where I am going. So there are certain things that you need to realize, that building capacity for the next level also means that letting go of certain things. You will need to move on from certain things for you to be able to create space for new ones.
Yes, sir.
Even if your capacity has allowed you to take a lot, but you need to realize that when you take a lot as a person, sometimes if you keep taking a lot and you are not letting go of anything, it also creates confusion. Where a person sits in a space of their lives where they don't even know where forward and back. Have you ever had a person say, I don't even know whether I'm going or coming. I don't even know whether I'm going forward or not. That confusion is created by the fact that you want to keep everything as you are going. You want to keep friends because they are your childhood friends. Your mothers were friends, you are also friends. Therefore, you must keep those friends. Life does not work that way. We can grow up together and never be friends. Because you will have to outgrow certain things for you to get to a space where you actually, growth requires you to get to that space where you let go of certain things. It requires wisdom to know when to let go of certain things. And this is an important part. When to let go of certain things. You know, there are two things that happen in life. There are people that you will encounter in your life that are there only for a season. You will need to learn certain things from them, and then life goes on. But there are people as well that come into your life that will stay much longer than just a season. Because what you need to learn from those people, or what you need to learn from each other, has to take much longer. It takes a longer. And there are those people, which is the third category, that you might probably keep for the rest of your life. Why? Because the rate of growth that you have and the rate of growth that they have complements each other. So if you are growing as a person and the people around you are not growing, I can tell you this one thing. You will never get to a space where you are able to grow together. So what am I trying to say as I'm closing? I'm trying to say to you, learn as a person to know that there are certain things that you will need to understand. But also be careful. Never lose important people in your life prematurely. You are shortchanging yourself. Never lose important people in your life prematurely because you are failing to grow. Grow so that you can achieve a lot more. So this is what I wanted to talk about this week. That be careful, keep your eyes open, look and make sure that you understand that there are resources around you that you can take advantage of and grow better and better as a person. There is a need for growth. If you don't grow, you lose people. But also if you grow, you lose people that are not valuable to you, which is actually good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.